Darkcast Network, indie pods with a dark side.
Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is One Delegation from Murder.
Hello, ODFM friends. I just have to apologize for this episode's sound as I was reporting from the ODFM submarine, it sounds like. But it's actually that I left an important accessory to be able to plug in my microphone at an event I helped with. So this sound is definitely not great, but the story is wonderful.
I want to delegate a lot, but I never do because I don't trust anyone.
Yeah, I know. Now, this is definitely someone who doesn't like to do their dirty work at all. Actually,
like everyone else does.
There's a couple people who don't like to do. There's a lot of passing the buck in this story.
Perfect. Okay,
it gets a little confusing, but it's good. Yeah. We could all take some notes from these people. They're just like, no, I'm going to get somebody else to do this for me. So
that's actually genius. I need to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're going to L.A., Los Angeles,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Florida.
No. You know what? It sounds that way, but no, we're actually going to L.A. And this is the late 80s, early 90s.
Good times.
Good times back in the day when we didn't have anything that we wanted to delegate because we were young. Okay, so, all right, so December 9th, 1988, the LAPD were called to a home in the Northridge neighborhood of Los Angeles. And there they were met by Mary Ellen Samuels and her 18-year-old daughter, Nicole. And when the officers arrived, Mary Ellen told the officers that this was the home of her estranged husband, and she had come to drop off the family pet for the weekend. They had a schnauzer, and
they'd have like weekend
shared custody.
Like
I guess. I guess I don't know. Right?
You take him to his play date today. I've had
exactly.
Okay.
Right. Well, this is LA. I'm sure the dog had his own schedule. Right.
Nails at 4:30.
Right. Exactly. Right. And they appeared to be on decent terms because she was able to go into the house.
Oh.
So she and her daughter went into the house and found her husband dead with trauma to his head and a gunshot wound.
No, that's not fun. I guess he's not taking the dog that weekend.
No, so much for that plan, right? The poor dog. So
stuck in the middle of this divorce.
Right. The victim was Bob Samuels, who was only 40 years old at the time.
Uh-oh.
He was found in a hallway of his home, almost naked. It appeared that he was attacked as he was walking to a room with a tanning bed, like he was going tanning.
Oh, no.
I know. So here he was. He was like, this is my time to sit and get tan. Yeah, no, he was not prepared. Right.
Oh, no.
So
he had his own tanning bed. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is LA, you know.
I mean,
in the 80s, and everyone tanned.
Right. It's true. But although LA also has a shit ton of sun, you could just go.
You're
outside,
right. You people just go outside. What is wrong with you? Like, it never
I guess
freaking
you can't
rains.
go as fast. Right.
Yeah,
maybe they just had to, like, it's the power tan. Like
the power tan.
You get
I only
so
got
much.
10 minutes. I gotta keep up.
I gotta
my glow.
put more. It puts like 13 times the amount of sun on your skin within minutes. So maybe that's it.
Oh, that's gotta be so good for you. Okay. It appeared that Bob had been dead for some time. At first, it looked as though the house had been ransacked and that Bob had been attacked by an intruder. But the scene wasn't consistent with the break-in. There was no signs of forced entry. There wasn't anything obviously stolen, just shit broken and turned over and...
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, this person's amateur.
Exactly. This is not...
Break the window, do something.
Exactly. Make some effort, you guys. Come on. Oh, and don't break the window from the inside.
Yeah. We've seen
that one too, right? So, like, come on, guys. All right. So Mary Ellen and Nicole both agreed to be tested for gunshot residue, and both were negative.
Okay, good.
Mary
so he was
Ellen.
shot.
So he was shot. He was shot too. He was blunt force trauma, and he had a gunshot wound to his head. Mary Ellen went to the police station that night for a formal interview. Police officers took note that there was some unusual things going on. She wore a revealing dress.
But it is LA, like you said.
But it is LA, right?
Maybe
Exactly. But she kind of seemed to flirt with the officers, even at the scene.
She likes the man in uniform.
Right? Okay. So
there's a dead body over there. Oh, but hi.
I go, right. And this is my estranged husband, who apparently I am still on good terms with.
Weird. Yeah,
There was an officer who said, and he was like, this has never happened in my life, on or off duty.
Oh, God.
That at one point she came over to him and started rubbing his bald head and said how much she likes bald guys.
Oh, girl.
This is not the appropriate response of somebody who has walked in on someone, even if you don't have a good relationship with them. This is still really kind of weird,
Wouldn't
right?
you be a little shocked and be like, there is a decaying corpse over here,
right.
But your bald head is very attractive.
It was weird. So in the interview, she tells them that she and Bob had been separated for 2 years, but they're on good terms.
Okay.
She named a few people that she thought might have been holding a grudge against him, but nothing that they could really go on. It was like, no, that doesn't really sound like anything. Yeah. Right? At the scene, at his house, they didn't find any fingerprints. There were no fibers or hair evidence. There were no witnesses in the neighborhood that saw anything that could give them any leads. So they were like, okay, this is really weird. The neighbors didn't hear the gunshot.
Oh.
Nobody reported hearing anything.
Maybe there's...
So Bob's autopsy showed that he had suffered from blunt force trauma to the head, which would have immediately disabled him. So, yeah, so if he was hit in the head from behind as he's walking down the hallway, he didn't see it coming, and he was immediately down. He might not have been knocked out or dead, but he was down, right?
Oh.
And then he was shot by a 16-gauge shotgun that was fired through a pillow.
Damn.
Fired through a pillow only inches away from his head.
Okay.
So this was like an execution.
Holy balls. Yeah. That's not a small gun.
He was the whole reason this all went down. It had nothing to do with being ransacked or... right. And they said that they determined, even though whatever it looked like at the scene, he had been dead for like 12 to 24 hours before he was found.
Oh.
So...
yeah. And it's warm.
Right.
Of course, they have AC probably.
So I'm sure. With his tanning bed? Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Needed it.
So Detective George Daly was assigned to the case. He interviewed Bob Samuel's friends and family. He spoke to his sister, Susan Conroy, who gave him the real dirt on the relationship between Mary Ellen and Bob. She was like, good terms, my ass. Okay. Oh. So they had a long history. Mary Ellen and Bob's family had grown up in the same neighborhood in Santa Ana. In fact, they were only like a block away from each other.
Whoa,
their whole childhood, right?
Kids?
Yes. Bob was 2 years older than Mary Ellen and apparently had a crush on her that dated all the way back to elementary school.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a big age difference. At that
age,
too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, when you're in second grade and you're like, I'm really digging on this kindergartner, it's a little creepy, right? It's a little, I mean, that would be a seventh grader who's like, man, I really got it for that fifth grader. Like, it's a little, although I think it was it's probably a little more innocent than that. But,
absolutely.
Mary Ellen was very pretty. She was very popular. She was very flirtatious. She was,
it sounds like it. She's rubbing on bald heads at dusk.
So, yeah, she was a very saucy second grader.
I get
right. But so he had this little hidden crush, but he was way too shy to ever do anything about it or ask her out or anything. But people who knew him knew that he had a little thing for her.
Yeah, he always did. Okay.
Right. So, they both went to high school. They both graduated. They went their separate ways. They never dated or anything like that. Mary Ellen got married, had her daughter Nicole, and she and her first husband got divorced.
Okay.
And then Bob and Mary Ellen met again. Their paths crossed around 1980. And this time, Bob didn't hesitate.
Oh.
He still had a little flame for her. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
At this point, he was a successful assistant cameraman in Hollywood.
Oh, well, that helps things too.
Right? So he had some money, right? And he was known for his work on a number of movies. A lot of them are like favorites of mine. So he worked on The Color Purple.
Oh.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Short Circuit, which was a favorite of mine when I was a little kid. I watched that movie to death. Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh,
Lethal
my God.
Weapon 2. Real Genius. Do you remember Real Genius?
Oh, yes. That was
right. He worked on all of those, right?
Big names in those. Okay.
Right, exactly. So they got married and they moved into this really nice house in the suburb of Northridge in the San Fernando Valley. And Bob even adopted her daughter, Nicole. And Nicole took his last name.
Wow. Okay. They had a good relationship.
Right? Yeah, right. But Bob and Mary Ellen were opposites.
Oh.
Bob was hardworking. He was down to earth. He was a very kind soul. Mary Ellen never grew out of her flirtatious high school party girl attitude, right? Yeah. She liked to party. She liked to spend Bob's money.
Oh, yeah. I can see this type.
Right. This was a source of irritation in their marriage. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
they thought about that a lot, right?
No
and she didn't work. So, he was bringing in the cash and she was spending it as fast as he came in.
Thanks for bringing that. I'm going to go get some Prada.
Exactly. So, and everything out there costs more. And she's right there in LA and Hollywood where everybody is, Rodeo Drive. I keep picturing Pretty Woman.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
She's trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Exactly, right? Right. But Bob loved Mary Ellen. So he came up with this plan, right? He invested in a Subway sandwich shop and made Mary Ellen the manager. Thinking, okay, this will give her something to do.
Yeah, something to focus on.
Right. And she'll be bringing in some money.
As long as you, make sure that she wants to do that, not just tell her, because that's kind of going to cause a problem.
Right, exactly. You kind of need someone who has some kind of management skills in a managerial position.
Or maybe she sounds like the type that she'd be better off in a boutique or something.
Yeah, but then she'd come home. She'd spend her paycheck on all the products that came through the door, right? I did that once when I worked at a clothing store. I would be unpackaging things as they came in and putting aside my size.
This is why I don't make any money at my shop. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Ooh, this is a great thing. I need this, right? Okay, so by October of 1986, so they've only been married for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
By October of 1986, Bob comes home one day to a note from Mary Ellen, basically a Dear John letter.
Ooh.
Which if people don't know what that is, it's basically a sorry, we're over kind of.
Yeah, like a breakup note.
Exactly. This is pre-texting, you guys. She actually had to handwrite a note, pen and paper.
Awful.
Right, with handwriting, full sentences.
It was the days when people knew how to read cursive.
Oh, right, exactly.
Speaking of, I got to tell you about this. Yeah. Okay, so my kids can't read cursive very well,
Same.
So I got some sodas one day and one of the kids was like, yes, we got bangs. And he tells Riley, hey, we got some bangs. And I'm like, bangs? Sparks? Root beer?
You're kidding.
The R
you didn't know that
was an N and the Q they thought was a G. I was
so
dying.
I am so disappointed right now.
And all of their friends, they came over. Oh, cool. You have bangs.
Bangs root beer. Yes, it's my favorite. Oh,
I'm dying. I was like, oh no.
Guys, this is why we have to teach them. My kids can't read certain Hallmark cards. I have to choose carefully. Drives me nuts. I'm working on it with them.
Yep. My parents send them notes and they're like, I can't read that.
It's horrible.
Guys.
Right. This letter was probably done in I'm guessing it was a Dear John note in cursive. Right.
But it's when they could read it.
But it was right. And he didn't need an interpreter. He just read it.
It's going to be a lost art. Anyway.
Okay. So she basically in this note said that their marriage had gotten stale.
Oh.
She got bored. Sorry things didn't work out. I'll always care for you. I hope we can stay friends, but I can't live with you. You know, it's not you, it's me. Blah, blah.
Right. She didn't like smelling like sub sandwiches all every day when she came
Right,
home.
Exactly, right? She was like, I smell like ham all the time and I'm done with it. No. She was just like, no, I can't. She was basically, she was bored.
Fine. Bored spending all that money.
Exactly. So he comes home, he finds this note. She and Nicole have already moved out.
Oh,
right?
And for the girl. Oh,
I know. He is devastated, right? This was his dream girl, right? So Mary Ellen files for divorce, but Bob tries really hard to get her to change her mind.
Aww.
Give him another chance. Let's work this out.
Okay.
So they agreed to a trial separation. She's like, all right, fine, right?
Let's start out small.
Right. So Mary Ellen and Nicole move into a condo nearby that Bob pays for. Right.
That's convenient. Okay.
Right.
So she still doesn't have to work.
She does continue to work at the subway.
Oh,
station,
she does.
Or the subway station, the Subway sandwich shop. She keeps that job. But Bob's still paying her $1,500 a month in living expenses on top of that. So she doesn't have to pay for the condo. She's got $1,500 a month plus whatever she's bringing in from the Subway shop.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Mary Ellen and Nicole start using it to go to bars and clubs together. Like, she
Nicole's
starts having that.
Now.
Oh, yeah. She's like, oh, we're not just mother and daughter. We're like besties.
Oh, we're besties.
Right? I'm not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Hey. So, oh, God.
A margarita.
Right? Exactly. Okay. So Bob's sister, Susan, tells Detective Daly that just weeks before his murder, Bob finally realized that he and Mary Ellen, they're done.
Okay,
this is not, she's not coming back. This isn't a temporary thing,
like,
right?
Done.
Exactly. And like, I'm just shelling out all my money for her. I cannot keep this up. I can't afford it.
Not getting anything out of it.
Exactly, right? It's not going to change. So he had met with a lawyer to finalize the divorce and drastically cut the financial support he was giving her. Right. This is like at the end of October. It's like the end of October, and he was murdered the beginning of December.
Oof. Okay.
So this is like really close, right? Within days of Bob's death, Mary Ellen and Nicole moved back into Bob's house. They kept the condo, by the way, but they moved back into the house. Condo's still there.
Okay.
She filed a claim to collect the money from Bob's life insurance policy.
Whoa.
And put the sandwich shop up for sale.
Holy shit.
She's like, well, done working.
Solved all those problems.
Right? Exactly. Whoa. Interesting. Detective Daly's like, all right, I'm going to pay Mary Ellen a visit at Subway. So he shows up at the sandwich shop, right? She's now the sole owner of the sandwich shop, by the way.
Yeah.
And he goes in there and he's like, I'm just doing my due diligence. Can I get a list of employees? Because I just need to do, and a ham sandwich, please, right? No onion, hold the onion. I'm just going to do routine interviews with everybody who works here,
Yeah.
And would you be willing to come down to the station and take a polygraph test? And she was like, sure. He's like, this is all just to exclude suspects. This is to exclude you, excludes everybody here. She's like, sure, that's fine. She passed the polygraph test.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So he's got all I assume he talks to everybody from the sandwich shop, or at least he's got a list of names of people who work there, right?
Okay.
A month after the murder, Detective Daly gets a call from an insurance company asking if Mary Ellen Samuels was a suspect. Because if she wasn't a suspect in the murder, then she stood to receive more than $500,000 from Bob's death as his sole beneficiary.
Damn.
Bobby. Right? She would also, on top of that, receive money to pay off both the Northridge home and the sandwich shop.
Oh, my God.
So both of those she would own outright. And then she would inherit both properties. Like they would be only in her name.
Jesus.
Right. Since there was no actual evidence against her, he had to say that she wasn't a suspect, and the insurance company went ahead and processed the claims.
Fuck. Okay.
Right.
Shit.
The total value was over $600,000.
That's a good payday.
And Mary Ellen started spending the money immediately.
This dumbass.
Oh,
God.
Like, she didn't even wait. He's not even buried and in the ground yet, right? And she's like, let's do this. She bought herself.
She could have set herself up for the future for a long time. She and her daughter.
She did.
But no, let's go blow it.
Oh, no. She bought herself and Nicole fur coats and designer clothes. And she paid $180,000 on a condo in Cancun.
Whoa.
Right? She bought, I love this, custom lingerie items from a trendy West Hollywood store called Trashy Lingerie.
That does sound nice.
Right. By the way, not just for her, but for her and Nicole.
Ew.
Yeah, ew. She's 18, but still, man.
Yeah, I was going to ask, but still, I wouldn't. No, I don't feel comfortable with my mom in lingerie. Thanks.
I know, right? She threw catered parties and rented limousines for their nights out of clubbing. Because this is, you can't Uber, right? No. And they want to drink. So they're being designated drivers and they're wearing. Gross. Exactly. She met a new man, a concert promoter.
Oh, I could see it slimy.
I know. His name was Dean Groover.
That's real.
Oh, you know what? That goes with the concert program. He's grooving.
That's why I was like, yeah, not real.
Dean Groover. Mm-hmm. And she bought him a $50,000 white Porsche.
Whoa. Ugh.
She also had more than one. Oh, I don't know. I don't picture him. He might be bald.
It's like maybe he's bald. She likes bald.
Right. She also had more than one car for herself. So, yeah, this is like inappropriate behavior, but there's still
absolutely
no evidence, right? So a few months go by. There's still nothing new, right? No. Other than her gross behavior, until Detective Daly is contacted by a woman who said that she had met Mary Ellen at a bar a few months before Bob's murder.
Uh-oh.
And they became friends because they were like bonding over drinks while comparing their horrible divorce stories, right? Oh my God, my ex, blah, 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 my ex, blah, blah, blah.
Awful. Mine won't give me all his money.
Exactly, right? Oh my God, he's got me like on a $1,500 a month allowance. It's just, right. Right. He makes me work in a sandwich shop. I have to wear gloves, right?
And a hairnet.
And a hairnet, right, exactly. So, whatever. So this is how they meet. This is how they bond, whatever. Except one time, Mary Ellen asks, hey, do you have 10 grand I can borrow to pay a hitman to get rid of Bob? Because I'm done with him.
Wow. Yeah, let me go get one of those gold bars I have saved up. What? Well,
right? Exactly, right.
Well, what a random question.
I can't afford the hitman on my Subway salary and my $1,500 a month allowance. So anyway, the woman just thought, we don't do that.
Yes, right. You're right. That would take too long.
Right. So anyways, the woman really just thought it was a joke, that it was the alcohol talking, right? Let's see if we can get a 2-for-1 deal, blah, blah, But then Bob was killed. And then she's like, Yeah,
I kind of remember when this conversation happened. Oh, shit.
So the woman also mentions a man named James Bernstein who worked for Mary Ellen at the sandwich shop and who was dating Nicole.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of links going on.
Here's the creep factor. This guy was 27 and Nicole was still in high school. She was 18, but she was still in high school.
Oh, and he works at a sub shop.
Right. He's 27 and he works at the sub shop. I don't remember them saying anywhere that he was like a co-manager or anything important, shift manager, nothing. He just worked at the sub shop.
Well, at least he's working, I guess.
Right. So Detective Daly looks him up and his name is not on the list of employees that Mary Ellen had supplied him.
Wow. So she was trying to protect him.
She forgot that one. Whoops. Right. Okay. So he decides he's going to bring James in for questioning.
Yeah.
And hey, why don't we bring Mary Ellen in at the same time?
Oh, good idea. Oh, did you forget about this guy named James?
Oh my God. You guys just happened to run into each other in the lobby? Weird.
Oops.
Mary Ellen was cool as a cucumber. James seemed a little shaken up.
A little nervous.
Right. They really weren't giving up any new information, so they put them in a room together that was recorded.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Okay.
And the police recorded James saying he's gonna arrest one of us or both of us right here, right now, tonight for the murder. He says he knows 100% that you and I did this.
Oh, shit.
So he says this, and they get it recorded, but neither one of them gives up any other information.
Oh,
so
okay.
They have to let him leave.
Yeah, that's not enough to say they actually did it. They just
exactly. They're just like, he's like, I'm just really nervous because they think we did this.
Oh, okay.
Not, we did do this and they know something. So
right. So, okay. Yeah. Which somebody could say and be innocent.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Then Detective Daly went to Nicole's high school and interviewed some of her classmates and found out that it was popular knowledge that Nicole's mom had hired a hitman to kill her stepdad. That was a rumor that was all through the school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
Well, sometimes they're real.
Yeah. And there were a couple of friends of Nicole's that said, oh, yeah, Nicole asked if anybody knew where she could get a gun to kill her stepdad. Like,
oh, Jesus.
Right?
Dude, have a little more, I don't know, privacy than that.
I know. They didn't care. They just were asking around. I guess everyone just thought it was bullshit because nobody really took it seriously.
Yeah,
nobody called it
braggers all over the place in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Mary Ellen did find out that she was being investigated and she filed a harassment complaint with the captain of the LA Homicide Division. But they're just like,
harassment.
Sorry, we're asking we're investigating a murder.
Investigating a murder. The kind of the protocol. So
sorry, we're looking into you. Stop being suspicious.
Stop.
Exactly. Oh my God, you're like obsessed with me. Right.
So obsessed with me.
So May of 1989, 5 months after the murder, Detective Daly gets an anonymous call from a man who would not say his name, but he did say, I'm a friend of Nicole Samuels.
Hi, James. Good to hear from you.
No, he says Nicole's mom had asked him to kill her husband, and he said no.
Oh.
That's uncomfortable.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
He goes to Nicole's house after school. They're having a little snack while doing homework. And she's like, how's the algebra going? Yeah. What college are you going to go to? Would you kill my husband?
No.
He's like,
would you like a margarita? No.
Right. Right? Oh my God. Okay. So he was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
You guys are weird. I'm going to go home now.
Right. But he told Detective Daly that he knew this other guy named James Bernstein who told him. So he also knows James Bernstein.
Oh, no.
And James told him that he agreed to do it, but that he delegated the job to another guy. Nobody wants to do their own dirty work. Mary Ellen doesn't want to kill him herself.
No.
She hires somebody else. This guy's like, cool, but I'm going to give it to someone else to do. It's like a game of telephone, right?
I don't want to do it. You do it.
He outsourced it to another guy whose name was Mike Silva, and that was who actually killed Bob. Okay.
At least they didn't outsource to India. I mean, that would have been at least they're keeping it American jobs.
Right, they're keeping it right. This is still in the late 80s, early 90s. So they weren't doing that yet. So they look up this Mike Silva and they find one who lives near LA and has a small criminal record. They're like, this is promising, right? Okay. So search warrants are served on Mary Ellen's condo, James Bernstein's apartment, and Mike Silva's home, as well as phone records from all three of them, right?
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So they serve these, but they didn't find anything that could tie any of them to each other or to the murder.
Huh. All right. Well, shit. Got to be a connection.
Right. James wasn't home at the time that they served the search warrant, and they talked to the apartment manager, and he was like, He hasn't been here in weeks, and I heard from other people that he's hiding out from you guys. So,
Thanks.
right. Like, interesting.
That's funny.
So they search his apartment, and then the protocol is to leave a copy of the search warrant then on the premises, right?
Okay.
So they leave a search warrant inside the apartment.
Okay.
On July 27th, 1989, now 7 months after the murderer,
Yeah.
James Bernstein was found dead in Ventura County.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got another dead body. This Ventura County was about 100, well, where he was found was about 100 miles north of Los Angeles.
Oh, shit. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, he's not talking now.
No, he's not saying a word, right? So interesting, right? That's
weird.
Interesting little twist, right? So hikers had found his body in Lakewood Canyon. Weather conditions had caused him to decompose really quickly. It was like the hot California sun. He was in a canyon, right? And so it was really difficult to identify the body at first, as he was basically mummified.
Oh, wow. Those tanning, see, maybe you don't need tanning beds out there.
Right, exactly. All you got to do is go hang out with in a canyon for a little bit. Easy peasy, much cheaper too, right?
Yeah, so cheap, it's free.
Although gas is expensive out there. You got
true.
Miles.
That's
so
true.
There's that. You got to weigh that all out, right? The convenience of having it in your own house,
Versus,
the rich don't have to drive anywhere. They just get to go into another room. Okay. So they performed an autopsy on the body that showed that the larynx had been crushed. So the cause of death was determined to be strangulation.
Whoa.
They had to remove one of the hands from the body and rehydrate one of the fingers to try to get a fingerprint.
I've seen where they take the skin off and put it on their own finger.
Oh, gross.
I know, to
nasty.
have to do after it's been hydrated.
Right.
Yeah, that would be rough. Okay.
But it worked. James had been arrested before, so they were able to get his name. And so police went to his apartment and they found the search warrant.
Oh.
So they called Detective Daly.
Yeah. Hey, we have something for you.
Right. They also had something else for him because they also searched the apartment and they found something the LAPD had missed.
They missed it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
In a book hidden between the pages, they found a phone card.
Well, that was good searching because I guess you wouldn't be sitting there going through each book.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
See, before there were burner phones for those younger audience
that's right.
members,
They might not know what this is. Didn't
right?
think of that. Yeah.
Sometimes you would get a prepaid calling card so that you could make calls from anywhere, and then because you used to be charged by the minute for there wasn't unlimited minutes bullshit. Okay, and this was even on these landlines.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, you had to pay.
People got pissed if you asked, like, can I make a call from your phone, like your home phone, especially if it was like long distance and shit. Oh,
oh no, you didn't do that. Yeah, because that was the common gift we'd get in college was a calling card. So
right, here's your calling card. Yeah, here's your calling card so you can call us, right? Exactly.
Oh no.
Okay, so earlier when they had gotten a search warrant for all of the phone records for these three people, they found calls that Mary Ellen made to James and calls Mike Silva made to James, but nothing that James called them back or that they spoke to each other. It was kind of like we got something, but not enough to connect the dots, right?
James was kind of the smart one in this situation.
Who knew? The 27-year-old who works at the subway. This was not what I expected. This was very unexpected. So, but with the calling card, they were able to pull the records to show that 30 minutes before Mary Ellen called 911 to say, hey, I just surprisingly walked into my husband murdered.
Yeah.
There was a call that connected James, Mike, and the Subway restaurant.
Okay.
So somehow there was some talking going on just right then, right?
Oh my God.
And in the days before the murder, James had made calls from the home of Anne Marie Habley, who was Mary Ellen's best friend.
Oh, another connection.
Right. So, and police knew who that was because she had shown up to the scene of the crime to console her bestie.
Of course she did. Mm-hmm.
So they already had her name and they had spoken to her back on the night of the murder. Right. Okay. So LAPD and Ventura County are like, all right, let's work together. We got this murder. You got this murder. This is tied together. Let's join forces,
let's work.
Right? Okay. So they performed a search on Anne Marie's home. And in a shed, they found a bag of James' clothes.
And lingerie.
Trashy lingerie.
Trashy lingerie. Oh.
But they found James' possessions at Anne Marie's house, right? Okay. So they bring her in for some questioning. And, they were having a hard time making all these pieces fit together. And they didn't have any hard evidence. So they offered her immunity to tell us everything you know. And she took it.
Oh, shit. Immunity.
Yep.
Not even like a lesser sentence.
No. You are off scot-free, but we need you to tell us what you know.
Of all the people. Okay.
So, Anne Marie tells them that Mary Ellen, I think it's funny that the best friends both have the double names.
I know. I was thinking that too. Like, oh, that's cute.
There's a lot of fun things about names in this. I'm about to tell you another good one.
Oh, good.
She told them that Mary Ellen hired 2 men.
Oh.
Anne Marie's live-in boyfriend, whose name was Paul Gall. Let that sit for a second. Paulgaul.
Oh, no. Not even just Gall.
No. Spelled the same.
Parents.
I'm like, parents are cruel, man.
They're so mean.
I know. You know what it made me think of? Do you remember the wedding singer? Her name's going to be Julia Gulia.
Oh, my God. That's right.
That's all I could think of once I got to this bit of information was Julia Gulia.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Anne Marie's live-in boyfriend, Paul Gall.
All right. Come on, Paul.
She hired Paul Gall to murder James because she was afraid that he was going to crack and talk to police. She was like, he is not keeping his shit together.
To more information. Like, okay. Paul Gall. What you got, Paul Gall?
All right. Anne Marie let them know that James had agreed to kill Bob because Mary Ellen had told James that Bob had been very abusive to her while they were married and had molested Nicole, who he was dating.
That is so manipulative. Okay.
In fact, I saw reports that I saw something about at the time of his death, James believed he was engaged to Nicole.
Oh.
There's nothing to say that he and Nicole were actually engaged or that Nicole thought they were engaged, but that's what he thought, that his future bride had been molested by her stepdad. So he was like, yeah, I'll take him out.
Yeah.
And then he outsourced it. Then he delegated it.
He's like, no.
But also Paul Gall was like, okay, but I'm going to get a friend to help me because nobody will do their own shit. So
that's hilarious. Okay.
Mary Ellen hired him and he went to his friend Daryl Edwards and was like, dude, I'm going to get paid to kill this guy. You want to help me out? We'll split the money.
Daryl. Get your other brother, Daryl. We're going to do this all together.
Right. The amount of delegation in this story is
It's good it's not money related that they're all getting paid because by then it's been so watered down that the actual hitman...
The actual hitman makes $10.
Yeah. Not worth it, bro.
Okay. And none of these guys are professional, by the way.
No.
None of them.
I mean, I can kind of tell. So
I read somewhere that Mary Ellen was upset that the way that James took out Bob, which wasn't James, it was actually the hitman, the other guy, Mike Silva. She didn't expect him to get killed in the house. And that there would be so much blood everywhere because, she moved back into that house. She wanted that house back.
She wanted it cleaned.
Right. So she was like, well, dude, why'd you do it in my house? Like oh my God. Right.
This is why you do things yourself. This is why I do not delegate.
Right.
Because mistakes happen.
And then just so you know, Paul and Daryl, they were not expert hitmen either. And they didn't do a very clean job either. It was just
okay, so they killed James. That's right. I was
they killed
there's
James.
so many hitmen.
Know, right?
There's more hitmen than there are people that got killed.
Right. It's crazy. Okay.
So confusing.
Anne Marie also let police know that Mary Ellen had convinced James to move in with her and Paul in order to hide out from police. That's why he wasn't around. He was happy to do that.
Of course.
Anne Marie was tangled in this. She was hiding a murderer or contracted murderer who contracted somebody else. Right?
Yeah.
This is why his clothes were hiding in her shed.
Oh, okay.
Right, because he had moved in and was hiding out there. All right.
Makes sense.
So they're like, all right, we finally have enough. They arrested Mary Ellen on January 26, 1990.
Oh my God. But they can't arrest a real bad person. Anyway.
So Mary Ellen is arrested. She's charged with 2 counts of murder with special circumstances of multiple murders and murder for financial gain.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
That same day, they arrested Paul Gall. I can't. It's like, okay. They arrested Paul Gall for first-degree murder, and then 5 days later, Daryl Edwards turned himself in. He was like, oh, well, they're like I said, these are not professionals. They were all just like, I give up. I don't know. James is like, please ask me questions. I don't know what to do. Like, they're all like, right.
Okay.
They could not arrest Mike Silva because sometime after the search was performed on his home, he killed his girlfriend and then turned a shotgun on himself.
Shit. Why do you have to involve the girlfriend? Dude.
Maybe he told her that he committed this. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Right. Okay. So there's a lot of death going on here. Like all of these witnesses, these key witnesses are going down, right?
Yeah.
This is making this hard. Okay. Nicole could not be arrested because there was no direct evidence linking her to anything. Any of the murders. Like she was obviously a player, but
she did some shit.
Right? And she was knowledgeable. Okay, so Paul and Daryl were offered plea deals of second-degree murder for their cooperation. Okay. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, at least they didn't offer immunity.
First degree to second degree. Exactly.
Yeah.
First degree to second degree, right? They told police that Mary Ellen had paid them $5,000 to kill James.
Okay.
She told them that James was a drug dealer, which apparently he was. But she played it up and said, well, he deals drugs to children. Knowing that Paul had some kind of family thing that had happened, and so he had this hatred for drug dealers.
Oh,
so this is how she's getting people who are not necessarily killers to do her dirty work for her.
Like, start these fake rumors, make these people seem really bad that they deserve it. And
exactly, right.
It's easier to do.
So on the day of James's murder, Paul and Daryl came up with this story about going on a road trip to rob this drug dealer that they knew. So, James, you want to come with us? We know this drug dealer. We can get some drugs and money from this guy. You got to come with us, but it's a road trip, right?
Yeah. You bring the beers.
Oh, that was one of the things I read. I can't remember if it was Paul or Daryl, but one of them testified that on the day of the murder, they drank 30 to 40 beers before they went on the road trip.
Oh, before?
I don't know how they were. But maybe this is why the murder didn't go so cleanly, because he was drunk out of his fucking mind. I don't know. I wouldn't be walking. I would be, I'd be in a hospital.
Or it was those O'Doul, those non-beer beers.
It was not right, exactly.
Like, we're so drunk.
I just need the taste so I can work up my courage, my liquid courage, right? Okay.
Oh, no.
For this road trip, they actually took one of Mary Ellen's cars, a black convertible with, the license plate.
Oh, no.
Which read NAST space VXN for Nasty Vixen.
Vixen. Ew. Wow, that is trashy. I see the trashy lingerie coming out in the third.
Right. Yeah. So they ended up taking James. They drove 100 miles north. They attempted to strangle him in the car. He got out of the car. No. They chased him down. They strangled him on the ground, and then they tossed him into the canyon. So it wasn't clean at all.
Brutal.
It was brutal. It was not a clean kill at all. All right. So now District Attorney Janice Morisi was worried. She's like, I'm going to have a really hard time. Morisi, yeah, she is more easy than the Nasty Vixen. So, right. Exactly.
Okay, anyway.
The names, right? The names.
I mean, so good.
She's like, all right, how am I going to convince a jury that Mary Ellen Samuels, who comes off as a very well put together housewife who works at a sandwich shop, orchestrated this whole thing? She convinced multiple people to commit murder for her, right?
So many murders.
So she's like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, right? So she offered Mary Ellen a plea deal, but she refused it.
Well, what happened to the immunity? Did she just never give everything up like she was supposed to?
Oh, no, this is Mary Ellen. This is the wife, not Anne Marie.
Right. Okay. Got it.
This is This is Bob's
these double names
ex-wife.
got me.
I know, it throws you, right? Okay. So, but she refused it because she really was like, no one's going to believe I did this shit. I am a master manipulator.
Perfect.
I got this.
Okay, great.
Right?
Good job, Mary Ellen.
All right, right. Plus, I mean, she did have some things going for her. Mike Silva was dead, the guy who actually shot Bob.
Yep.
And then the guy that she hired to do the job, who outsourced it, was also dead.
True. She's like, oh, they can't rat on me, so.
Exactly, right? So she decided to roll the dice with the jury.
She can roll the dice. All right.
All right. So this was pretty cool. Janice Morisi pulled out the big guns.
Oh.
The trial started in March of 1994. And when the news broke in the media about this woman being arrested and all this, she was dubbed the Green Widow for blowing through almost all of the insurance money from Bob's death, nearly $500,000 in 1 year.
Oh, damn. See, I saw that coming. She should have invested or something.
Safe shit. Nicole's got no college fund. There's
nothing. You got nothing, girl. I guess go sell your
But
Prada
they look good.
Whatever.
They are dressed nicely.
Yeah.
They well, I don't know. They got the trashy lingerie.
The trashy lingerie.
So I don't know.
That name does not make me want to go buy that lingerie.
No.
That is not hot. Yeah.
So, and
Fredericks of Hollywood.
Right. Plus they have matching mother and daughter thongs. So
it's like those I'm with stupid t-shirts, but they're thongs.
It's a thong, right? Ooh, okay. So the DA starts the trial by presenting this giant blown up photo of Mary Ellen laying naked on a bed, partially covered with $20,000 worth of $100 bills.
Oh my God. She's trying like the American Beauty type thing, but with money and
Exactly right. So apparently her boyfriend, what was his name? Dean Groover, had taken the photo while on a trip to Cancun.
Oh, gross.
Oh, and she's got a big smile on her face.
Oh.
So she starts the case with, like, you see this woman, this well-dressed, well-put-together woman here? Here's what she looked like, 2 years ago or whatever, on a vacation to Cancun, covered in the money that she got from her ex-husband's
after the husband was
murder, right? Mm-hmm. Right. That paints a picture for you, right? She paints a picture for the jury that Mary Ellen realized that Bob was worth more to her dead than alive. And that, so she filed for divorce. He wanted to keep going. So she spent the 2 years that they were separated soliciting anybody to kill her husband. She spent 2 years. She could have
just saved up.
You're right? I mean, and the thing is that once people heard that Mary Ellen was accused of killing both her husband and the guy she hired to kill him, all kinds of witnesses came out because they were kind of like, oh my God, this woman's kind of fucking scary.
Yeah.
So she had no shortage of witnesses that were willing to testify that she wasn't shy about asking if she could, who had a gun, who'd be willing to do this.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Good.
She had this parade of people that came on going, oh yeah, she asked me. Oh yeah, I heard this. This was common knowledge. Right?
Wow.
The jury got to hear all about the lavish lifestyle that Mary Ellen and Nicole started to live as soon as they moved out of the house, when Bob was still alive, right?
Oh.
While he was still alive and they were, they were spending his money left and right, and they were besties, they took what was called mother-daughter cheesecake photos, which I had to Google. And on Urban Dictionary, it says basically they're sexy photos with minimal clothing. Oh. So little
I was thinking
photos.
Cake sitting.
Yes, photos of them sitting naked on cheesecake. That's what they know. So I'm sure that's what they use.
I've never heard that term.
No, I've never heard it either.
Wow.
Cheesecake photos. That's what I've never heard it. But anyways, that's what they did. They bought their custom cheesy or custom trashy lingerie and then had photos taken together. Not necessarily like she paid for Nicole, to get.
Yeah. Right. Oh.
Mary Ellen hired strippers for Nicole's 18th birthday.
Oh my God.
That's a little weird.
It's
She's like a cool mom. Yeah. You guys, come over. We're having strippers. My mom paid for them. Ew. Mom, I'm going to need more ones. Like, ugh. They heard all about the extravagant birthday party that Mary Ellen threw for herself at a country club just 4 months after the murder.
Oh, how fun.
Oh, yeah. They heard all kinds of things, right? Oh, this was kind of fun, too. Several witnesses testified that Mary Ellen had a pet parrot that she trained to make profane remarks about Detective Daly.
Oh, no.
And she taught it to swear at the police.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
I was like, wait, what?
Just please, no one else.
Right. So I was like, well, that's a fun little tidbit from the trial.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Right? So her best friend, Anne-Marie Hadley, Paul Gall, and Daryl Edwards all testified against Mary Ellen. The defense, however, argued that Mary Ellen had been framed by all these people because she had loaned them all money and they didn't want to pay her back.
They didn't
right?
want to pay. Okay, that's a lot of work to go to.
There was a lot of orchestration there, too. Yeah. That's a big conspiracy, right? Because there were a lot of people. A lot of people. Also, he intended to show that Detective Daly was this jaded detective who was obsessed. Like, you're so obsessed with me. Obsessed with Mary Ellen and had kept photos that he found during his searches of her in lingerie.
Oh, God.
Called evidence.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably something to prove that she's not this.
Right. He's got the photos, but it's not that they were like locked up in an evidence, right? No, apparently he had them like right in his wallet, pinned up in his cube, right? I don't know, whatever.
In his locker.
Right. And this was a little weird. Not only was Mary Ellen not guilty, but she was actually the victim here because she suffered 6 years of domestic abuse at the hands of Bob because he was a drinker.
No.
Yeah.
There was no evidence to that. Like
exactly, right? Also, so he deserved it, and we're bringing this up even though she didn't kill him. But he deserved it.
But he deserved it, but I didn't kill him.
Her defense attorney, whose name I didn't catch, he reminded the jury that the star witnesses for the prosecution all either had been given immunity or plea deals, like they were confessed killers, right? Okay. I mean, that's true. Although there were a lot of people who were not given immunity and stuff who were all like,
very true.
Dude, she advertised that she was looking for a killer.
Absolutely.
For 2 effing years, right? Okay.
It wasn't like it wasn't known.
So Nicole, who is at this point 27 years old, and she's married and she's got a son, she testified on her mother's behalf. She waived her Fifth Amendment rights and got on the stand. And she told the jury a very emotional story about how Bob had physically abused her from the time she was adopted by him, and that when she turned 12, that turned into sexual abuse. So, and then Mary Ellen got on the stand and testified in her own defense because, she's a master manipulator.
Oh, right. She'll get everyone to believe her.
Right.
Yeah, they'll believe her.
So she got up there and she retold these horror stories of how her years with Bob were just awful, and the sexual abuse. And so she actually left Bob to save herself and Nicole. However, there was zero evidence to support any of this, right?
Nobody had heard all this before his death.
And the DA even presented her own Dear John letter and said, you listed that the marriage was stale and that you were bored and you couldn't live with him, but nowhere in here did you mention any abuse or I'm done with you or whatever. None of that was in there. Oh, and there was a part that I saw in the show that I watched where she tried to say, well, no, he'd even hit me right before I left him and I had a black eye. And there was a witness to say, oh, yeah, we saw her with a black eye. But they were able to show that she had just had plastic surgery.
Oh, yeah. That
So,
kind of happens when you have surgery.
Yeah, right. So on July 1st, 1994, after 18 days of deliberation.
18 days.
18 days. The jury found her guilty on both counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation, and she was sentenced to death.
Whoa. Damn.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Oh, my God. Okay.
So at this point, Mary Ellen is 47 and she's a grandmother. And so she went and joined there were only 4 other women in California on death row at this time.
Yeah.
And so she was put on California's death row. And, they didn't overturn the death penalty, but they have right. So she's 76 right now. She's still living on death row, but there's no.
Yeah, there's no death penalty right now. So.
Death penalty at the time, right now.
God.
But she's still there. Nicole has never been charged with anything.
Oh, shit.
She's just out living her life.
Hopefully she doesn't repeat the same mistakes and do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the story of Mary Ellen Samuels, the Green Widow, and the baby Green Widow that she raised. So
yeah.
Because just keep an eye out for Nicole Samuels. Oh, shoot. She's got a married name now, but I didn't write it down. But yeah, we'll just keep an eye out for her.
And he's still alive, hopefully.
As far as I know, I don't know. I didn't Google that. So
interesting.
Yeah, right? That was a whole mess of delegation, right?
I need to get better at delegating, but they didn't do so well. So
right?
Then again,
we
maybe
need to take some notes from her, right? I mean,
I don't know. They didn't do so well. So maybe I'm good with not.
Unlike us, she was not a perfectionist who was like, no, just let me do it. I'm going to do it better.
Yeah,
I know what I want. I know what I want. Okay. I got this.
Let me do this because I know you'll mess it up.
My God. Right. So, yeah.
That's hilarious. so hilarious.
Oh, Nasty Vixen. Nasty Vixen got me. Paul
Trashy
Gall.
Lingerie.
Got me
Paul Gall.
That's the name of the store.
There's like 14 hitmen and 2 people that are dead. It's just
the parrot that swears at police. I mean, I was just like, this story is ridiculous. And it's literally out of Hollywood. How have they not made a movie on this one yet?
Absolutely. Even just like a dark comedy. That is perfect for a dark comedy.
Oh, for sure. Right? I think it actually fits better than the whole Bernie story for a dark comedy.
Absolutely.
This is ridiculous. Oh my God.
Fuck the police.
Right.
Whatever the parrot in so many good scenes. Oh my God. I love bald heads.
Oh my God. There were so many little tidbits in here that just tickled me. So would you like to hear my sources?
Yeah, where did you hear all this? Right.
So there was a lot of info on Murderpedia, of course. I had to refer to Urban Dictionary to find out what the heck a cheesecake photo was.
Absolutely.
Oxygen.com. Apparently there's a Snapped episode on her from season 4. And I have subscriptions to Peacock, Hulu, Netflix. I got YouTube TV.
Amazon Prime. Everything.
I could not access that episode for anything. It was nowhere. So I couldn't watch it. But there is a Snapped episode. I think it's like season 4, episode 10. I looked everywhere to watch that episode. I can't find it, right? I was so mad
when that happened.
But I was able to go on YouTube and find an episode of this show called The Prosecutors, which I'd never heard of before. The Prosecutors, and they had an episode called The Green Widow. And that's what I watched.
So that's how you found it.
That was really interesting. And they really got into how they prosecuted her. That was really good.
Okay, that is cool.
And I also had a story from the LAtimes.com that was really good. And I got pictures of Mary Ellen. I got pictures of Bob. But I could not for the life of me get a picture of James Bernstein or Paul Gall or any. And the prosecutors.
Nicole?
No. The prosecutors used actors for everything.
Oh, yeah. So there's no actual footage.
Exactly. And some of those shows, they won't let you take screen grabs.
Yes.
I've noticed that.
I've tried too.
So I got to see a picture of James Bernstein, like just a flash. He was nothing exciting to look at.
Okay. Yeah.
He was kind of an overweight guy with a mustache, the 27-year-old. Yeah. Wow. He was nothing to write home about. I was
picturing.
No, I mean, Mary Ellen was pretty. I mean, but I don't know. We've told stories about these beautiful women before, and I'm like, I don't get it. No. She wasn't all that. I can tell you that. She wasn't all that. I have no idea what Nicole looked like. I tried. I looked, you guys. I searched.
I know.
So frustrating, right?
It's so frustrating. I go through those too. And I'm like, come on.
Use your imagination.
Your social media footprint?
Right. Bob was a good looking guy.
Oh.
Bob was a good looking guy.
And he was a good guy. So
and he was a good guy. He was a little too good of a guy. He was kind of he let himself be a doormat. Which sucks.
And he tried to like stand up for himself, and then he gets killed. This bitch.
He would have been much better off finding somebody from one of those movie sets he worked on, a nice famous actress who could have like set him up instead of the other way around. There you go.
Good story. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks everybody for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Hey Oddies, thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM. If you're a longtime listener, hey, we cannot thank you enough for your continued support. And if you're a new listener, thanks for giving us a try. If you like us, please drop us a like, subscribe, and rate us so we can share our stories with more people around the world. And if you'd like more information, like links to our podcast and socials, along with our Patreon fan page, those links are all on Linktree under ODFM Podcast. That's linktr.ee/ODFM Podcast. Side note, you guys, we're obsessed with fan art, and we love making things with it, like stickers for our fans. So if you'd like us to use your designs, send it to us at odfmpodcast@gmail.com. And if we use your design, we'll be sure to send you a sticker.
Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.